Let's start it off with the TNT Championship match that opened up the night, Wardlow versus Orange Cassidy. I put up on our community page, Ralph, a poll on how long this match would go. Less than a minute, 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, and 16 to a time limit draw. And for the most part, everything with the exception of 16 to 20 minutes was voted on. It ends up going 11 minutes and 38 seconds, I believe is the total. But I actually made a deal with someone saying that if it went 15 minutes, the episode would just be you doing a rant on this match because I knew you would have blown a gasket on it. Nonetheless, it comes pretty close. So I'm going to mute my mic and I want your thoughts first on this match between Wardlow and Orange Cassidy.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to disappoint a few people because I don't think this was the worst thing in the world. And the reason I say that is because, one, it kind of confirmed a lot of things that we've talked about as far as Orange Cassidy and his true position within the company. You know, yeah, he's had big matches, most of which I think he's lost. You know, he's had some credible wins, if you want to call them that, over guys like Chris Jericho or over his unsanctioned match or whatever it was called or whatever they deemed it against Adam Cole. So he's had his moments. But by and large, when the cards are down, when his back's against the wall, we just kind of get exactly what we expect out of him. He's going to lose to the top tier guys. He's not a guy that's going to be the heavyweight champion. He's not a guy that, as of right now, is going to go over somebody like a Wardlow. He's an attraction. He's got his niche fan base. And this is exactly the type of match that I think people are going to clamor for. If you like Orange Cassidy, you probably love this match. If you hate Orange Cassidy, you probably hated this match for all of the reasons. But the one thing we got out of this is this. They had to go so far out of their way to protect him, in my opinion, in so many instances. Did he get some offense in? Yeah, he got some offense in against a guy that was just so obviously so much larger than him. Like, it's you can't not see it. There was a chainsaw in the ring at one point. Danhausen got involved. All these shenanigans.
He tried to get involved.
Outside interference. I mean,
hold on. He tried to get involved. He didn't actually get involved. He walked away before he could actually put the curse on Wardlow. He knew better.
But I believe that led to Orange Cassidy landing an orange punch or whatever that maneuver is called on the outside of the ring, which
that is true.
Allowed him to turn the tide and get some offense in. Look, these are the types of matches I like when you have the much larger guy like a Brock Lesnar or Wardlow going against the smaller guy because it really makes for a natural storyline. David versus Goliath, whatever. You're naturally going to root for the smaller guy. The problem is, one, there was zero build to this, and I absolutely blame Tony Khan for that because as of right now, unless something's going to happen down the road, there really was no point to have this match. You know, and you got Orange Cassidy kind of fighting from behind. They're both faces. They're both over with that crowd. And other than that, I mean, it really wasn't much more. So do I hate it? No, I don't hate it because they went so far out of their way to protect Wardlow and to protect Orange Cassidy that, you know, what could you say? Yeah, he got some offense in, but they had to protect it. I don't know. That's my impression of the match. I didn't hate it. Obviously, I'm not going to love it because I'm not into Orange Cassidy's gimmick.
I thought that was going to be a lot worse. I thought we were going to get a full-on rant, but you calmed yourself down somehow. But my thoughts of this match were, honestly, I thought it was almost perfect. Almost. And the reason why I say almost is because the offense that Orange Cassidy got in, which was not as much as people would probably say he got in, especially those that hate Orange Cassidy, it made sense. He evaded a charging Wardlow in the corner and was quick to, you know, hit a couple shots in the turnbuckle. Fine. He got the orange punch on the outside after Danhausen was trying to curse him. Fine. You know, he reversed or tried to evade a F10 and tried to evade a power bomb into some offense. Fine. The only spot that I had a problem with that turned me off with this match was the beach break. You're telling me a guy that's 167 pounds and has a 6 to 7 inch height difference can lift a guy like Wardlow with practically no effort and hit the beach break.
Well, it's not that he can't.
That's the problem.
It's not to say that somebody his size can't. Obviously, he can. He did it. The problem
there
is
needs
visually.
To be some effort. It had to be an effort.
He did it
and
effortlessly. Well, and I go back to my original point. I don't blame either of these guys. I thought it was the match itself. I think we could probably both agree. You're going to get people that love it. You're going to get people that hate it. I didn't find it overly egregious, just the match itself. What I question is why? Why this match now? Why your most over guy and one of your most over guys in Wardlow against one of your most over guys in Orange Cassidy with zero build for a championship where you have to go so far to your way to protect Orange Cassidy. The crowd was somewhat weird and divided, especially when they threw out Trent and Chuck E.T. there, because it's like, well, they're supposed to be faces. And you know, I don't knock the wrestlers for this. I'm knocking whoever decided to kind of put it together. Unless it leads to something down the road, I guess we'll have to see where it goes. But as of right now, I don't get it. Like, even like you said, him picking up Wardlow. Like, Wardlow's supposed to be your unstoppable beast. He's the guy that you invested, 3+. He's beaten up, 20? 2 weeks ago, we saw him beat up 20 or 30 security guards. Yep. And now we got a 165 pound guy tossing him around. Visually, what's the point of that? What are you trying to accomplish? Like, I get it.
Right.
Pro wrestling, let's not overthink it, but at the same time, and again, people are going to disagree with me on this because they won't separate their internal bias and their allegiance to AEW. They'll just go along with it. But you got to understand, there's people out there that are going to see this visually and say, what the fuck? Why? What? There's no way. There's no way.
Right.
And you know,
I felt like this could have been a huge opportunity to give a third dimension to Orange Cassidy. And I think they blew it, because the reason why I set the poll up on our community page was because I wanted to see if people were going to say, is it going to be a quick squash? Were they expecting a quick squash from Wardlow? Or are we going to get the similar matches that we had with Pac or Will Ospreay, or the triple threat match for the AEW World Championship where Orange Cassidy puts in an effort? I felt like in this case, and this is the way it was going at first, where it was just not Orange Cassidy's day, and everything he tried, Wardlow had an answer for. You know, he's bigger and he could match up with him athletically to where that stuff isn't going to work, where it did with Ospreay and it did with Pac. It was just not his day. And then the offense came in and was like, okay, they kind of threw that out the window. They could have built this up in a way where, you know what? Orange Cassidy has to think it to himself. These fans love me. They want me to be a champion. I'm going to have to start trying now and actually give him a little bit of a character other than I'm just going to do play kicks. There's got to be that third dimension. For those that say he is a main eventer, that's what's missing. He does not have that third dimensional character that most main eventers do. It's not about work rate. It's not about promo ability or charisma or whatever. It still comes down to character. You need to have that depth, and Orange Cassidy does not have that depth in his character. They could have started that this week, and maybe they still kind of can, but I felt like the match itself did not lead you to believe they can go down that route, because he got the offense in. He got the beach break on Wardlow. And now I know the other side of the coin was, oh, Wardlow needs to be tested or else he's Goldberg. You know what? Let someone else test him. You know, you got guys like Powerhouse Hobbs or Keith Lee or
Cesaro,
you know, or Hager or
Adam Page,
Konosuke Takeshita, who had a brilliant match. Moxley. There's plenty of guys that could test him. Orange Cassidy's not the guy you want to test whether or not he can last in the ring. It just makes it look bad. And those that say it made him look bad, I can see where they're coming from. And those that say, you know what, this was a decent match, I can see where they're coming from too. But I think it did not elevate Orange Cassidy. And I don't think it did service to Wardlow either. I think this basically they came in the same way that they came out. They're in the same spot. Did not elevate either. I don't think it necessarily diminishes Wardlow because he still won the match. But we'll see how next week goes. I'm sure people still pop for him, but people just want to see him do the Powerbomb Symphony for now. There's nothing wrong with that until you get him a guy that he's not really necessarily allowed to do that because they're smarter, they're better, they're more experienced, whatever the case may be. I felt like they just dropped the ball on this.
And what makes it odd is, because people are going to say, "Oh, well, you have an old mind for the wrestling business because you got Wardlow who's 270 going against a guy and he's so over." Well, okay, but later in the night you saw literally the same dynamic in Luchasaurus and Griff Garrison, and what happened? There was a squash. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I've been coming on here for the past 3 years saying the same thing about Orange Cassidy. If they're going to do anything with him, he's going to have to add some extra different, like you said, depth or dimension or whatever to his character. Otherwise, he's going to be stuck in the same position where he's going to lose to the top tier guys.
Right. And that's
not on unsanctioned matches so he could beat Adam Cole, whatever else, right. Stuff like that. So
that is where like the R-Truths and the Santino Morellas and, even the Hurricane who once beat The Rock, that's where their limit was because they did not have a third dimension to their character. So obviously they're not going to be main eventers. That's all I'm saying.